my name is Jason JROCK Houston. You guys are listening to an interview being done for Chaotic Riffs Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. It's my great pleasure to be speaking to the one, the only, the legendary Jason McMaster tonight. How you doing, Jason? You're calling all the way from Austin, Texas tonight. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's always great talking to you. Now, last time I talked to you was about 6 months ago. I believe it was June, and you and your other band, Dangerous Toys, were just getting ready to play a gig at Ricky Rackman's festival, celebrating the history of the Cat House. I got to start the interview off by asking, how did that show go?
That was awesome. Yeah, I was trying to remember earlier the last time we had spoken, and I guess that was right. Yeah, summertime. It was hot. It was in Los Angeles at Irvine Meadows, and it was rare. I want to say that Southern California gets that kind of weather, but it was brutally hot. It was like Texas weather, so it wasn't a big deal to us.
Yeah.
We're used to the heat.
Yeah. But
it was extremely hot. It was in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
It was dry heat. It was like desert heat.
Yeah. And I know
we had a really good time. It went off really well. Very professional. It was a Live Nation event.
Yeah.
And all the bands kicked ass. They had of course, the shed stage, which is the big stage, and then they had like an outer stage.
Yeah.
And there's two stages going the whole time.
Now, of course, like I said in the intro, Dangerous Toys is, it's a legendary band, but I mean, you guys you play mostly, the festival scene these days, and one-off shows, and you play a lot, in your hometown of Texas, but that's the first big show you've really done out here in the LA area. What was that response you got like?
I think that the response was incredible. We got great reviews. And it was, overall, I want to say it was probably, I guess they call that fanfare.
Yeah.
When a lot of the fans go on your social media and totally pump you up, and they kind of it brought the whole thing up a couple of notches. We ended up getting a few more gigs after that. Not out in that area.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We secured another spot on Monsters of Rock cruise, so that leaves this month. And,
wow. It's all about keeping the legacy alive, man. I mean, you're doing it. That's what it's all about. And I wanted to start the interview off because that's kind of where we left off last time when I was talking to you. But mainly tonight we're going to be talking about this other band you got going, Ignitor. And I got to tell you, Jason, I went and checked out this video for No Sanctuary, and man, I was really impressed. I mean, I would really describe it as like almost your version of Judas Priest. I mean, it was very Halfordish, if you know what I mean. You're not sounding like the guy, but it's kind of your influence coming out. But I got to tell people what really impressed me, especially being a fan going back to the Dangerous Toys days. That's one thing I've always impressed me about you, all the different projects you're involved with. Like, you put on Ignitor, it sounds nothing like Dangerous Toys, it's totally a different thing, and I think that's part of the reason why, you're still going and you got all these other projects at the same time, because, like I said, Ignitor just sounds nothing like Dangerous Toys, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that, the four original things that I actually have going on right now, they all have their own place, and they all have a different vibe. I guess the two groups that I write and record and play shows with that are closest in style would be Evil United and Igniter. So the Evil United stuff it's thrash and it's classic, and you could say those same exact two things about Ignitor. But Evil United is more of a modern thing.
Yeah.
It's a classic mixed with a modern.
Yeah.
And then everything's tuned really, really low, and it's not death metal or black metal or anything, but it has moments that go that way, and it's it would be like if you take a thrash band, like an '80s thrash band, like Exodus, and you would mix it with Machine Head or something like that. Because there's a difference in those two bands, yet there's something very relative in them. Not even the fact that they're both Bay Area thrash bands, but it's something like that. As to where Ignitor has more King Diamond and Dio and things like that.
Yeah, I could hear that. Yeah,
they're really not thrash oriented at all.
Yeah.
Merciful Fate, King Diamond is not thrash, but it's progressive a little bit, and it's definitely over the top vocally. The riffs are nutty, and so. That's
really good way to.
Ignitor's a little more down home, old school metal.
Yeah.
There's some thrash parts.
Yeah, I can hear that. Like again, I've just heard the one song from Ignitor, but it really it's really gotten me excited, and I think the name of the band is very fitting for the simple fact that after I checked out the video for your song No Sanctuary, it really ignited me. I was like, man, I want a full length album from this band now. I want to hear what they do, and I got to really give you props here, Jason, because again, being a guy that been a fan of yours since going back to a Dangerous Toys day, you put these two different bands on. They sound nothing alike, which a lot of times is very hard to do when you've got the same guy doing the lead. The lead singing, of course it's going to have a little Jason McMaster influence because you're involved in, you're the same guy doing the singing. But I mean, like I said, Ignitor's almost full blown on metal. I would say, like you said, old school metal. And Dangerous Toys, of course, got a little more hooks and stuff and melody to it. But you're doing your thing, and that's what I dig about it. Like people put on Ignitor, they might not know right away it's Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys unless they read the credits.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you think it sounds that different. It's hitting everybody in a little bit different ways. I've been in Ignitor since 2007.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
So there's a history to it. They had a female singer before me, and there's 2 records with her on it. Her name is Erica Tandy, and the records that she recorded with Ignitor are one called Take to the Sky and one called Road of Bones. And she moved on to do other things. She has a black metal band called Morgan Growl.
Wow.
And she plays guitar and sings in a black metal band called Morgan Growl. But she also does a tribute to Dio as well. She's an amazing singer and an amazing musician. And we are still close friends, even though I'm singing in her old band, right?
Yeah.
But the guys at Ignitor I've known forever, and we all play in different bands together and stuff like that. So the music industry is very incestuous, I'm sure you know.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, when she left the band, you've been in the band since 2007, so I'm sure you've had time to kind of go over this with your bandmates. But did they ever mention, like, when she left, did they automatically assume they were just going to get another female singer, or was it just a matter of we're just going to hire the best singer, we're going to find the best singer to fill her shoes?
No, I have an answer to your question, and it was Stuart, one of the guitarists. He plays in my Judas Priest tribute band.
Oh, okay.
So we'd be over there rehearsing for something, right?
And
I was over there often enough. I'd be like, "Hey, how are auditions going for the vocalist spot in Ignitor?" Not in so many words.
Yeah.
And he'd start cracking up. He would tell me, "Well, we've had some interesting sort of Craigslist kind of people come in and talk up a good game, and we'd be impressed, and then they would try to sing, and some of them are pretty good, and some of them are not very good, and that whole thing, and I just it was hard for me to hear because Ignitor is and was a great band. Very talented and very interesting cast of characters, and all never boring, always fun to be around and work with, and it's just they're crazy clowny people, and it's a lot of fun. I told the guys. Long story short, I told Stuart, I was like, if you guys run into more of that, just auditioning and it's not working out, I'll at least record the record with you, because I knew that Stuart had written a new record, and they were just trying to find a singer to do a new record with. And so I said, I'll at least do the record. And I heard the material, and that would have been the first record I did with them. It was called The Spider Queen.
Okay.
And I did that record with, I did that record with them, and then I just stayed in the band because I loved the material so much.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this will be your second album with them then, huh?
No. The record right after that, called The Metal Tiger, Year of the Metal Tiger.
Okay.
And that's all on iTunes. Both of those are all on iTunes, just as the other stuff with Erica. That's all on iTunes. And anyway, so there's this, the new one, No Sanctuary, will be the fourth record I've done with Ignitor. The third one is called Mixtape 85.
Oh, okay. I've seen the cover of that. Yeah, on the website.
Yeah, it's all cover songs. Yeah, it's all cover songs, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We do an Exciter song, a Venom song, a Merciful Fate song, Judas Priest, Deep Purple, Exodus.
Okay.
Basically paying tribute to all of our. It's like a tribute record to all of our favorite stuff.
And did each guy kind of get to pick which tracks they wanted to do, or did you guys take a vote and kind of do it that way?
Yeah, we all kind of, sort of shot the idea around of what songs would we do if we were going to do a bunch of covers. And we wanted some real classic moments as well as some deep cuts from, some of the thrash bands that came out in, 83, between 83 and 86,
Okay, and typically, when people cover other people's material, one of two things happen. They either, kind of do a duplicate, cover version, meaning they try to stay as true to the original as possible. And then there are other bands that kind of want to put their own spin on the tune. We kind of want to, like do, in your case, do it Ignitor style. What was your thought process, when picking these songs to cover? Did you want to like make a carbon copy of the original and kind of put your guys' own spin on it?
Well, I mean, we are a classic heavy metal band, so we're going to sound like, the thrash moments in Ignitor songs definitely come from the same place that thrash moments come from in every other thrash band. They come from, old punk rock bands, and they come from old heavy metal bands, and they come from, we're talking, when Venom digs in and plays the thrash beat, or Slayer, or, and it goes up and it ones up every time. So the Exodus song we play is No Stranger to Thrash. We did, what song did we do on there? It was one that I chose. It was A Lesson in Violence. And it's just brutal thrash all the way through. And it's fantastic. It was a deep cut. And Bonded by Blood is my favorite Exodus record. It's just unrelentless. Every song just kills you. And so that was easy. I always wanted to cover that song. And it's almost like a hardcore song, And we did it. We did that one kind of pretty straight up. We did a slightly different ending on it. The Judas Priest song, it's Hellbent for Leather.
Cool.
That's pretty much straight up. Since we don't have a keyboard or anything, the Deep Purple song was we did a different version. Did our own version of that one. We did our own version of the Venom song, Witching Hour. So the Deep Purple song was Highway Star.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting. And then No Sanctuary is the new video, so I guess that's the one you chose for your first single. Talk about the decision to go with that song.
It was a concept, I'm sure, that Stewart had for a video that No Sanctuary probably fit the best. And he and I wrote the words, and it kind of is about whatever it's about. It's a little bit vague. Definitely about no place to hide. Someone's always out to get you. And the video kind of talks about that a little bit.
That's kind of interesting because in viewing the video myself, I mean, kind of what I got out of it is not necessarily this is what the video is about, but it was kind of just watching as like full blown on metal band, in your face and doing their thing, and that's kind of really. And I think when you described the band sound earlier, kind of like over the top, old school metal, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, we don't have any qualms about it. The leather and studs and all that silliness, we push that up. We do that to the hill. We do it because it's fun, and like there's a certain amount of cheese that we're putting in there because we like it. We're having fun, and obviously we're not taking ourselves too serious.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're not overstepping. I mean, it's kind of like
that's right.
It's kind of like Judas Priest, what they've done all these years, wearing the leather and studs, and it's kind of like.
I love it. I totally love it. I think that it's very, very cool. And you could say the same thing like Iron Maiden has a mascot.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly, but is it silly? I don't think that it's silly.
Yeah,
if they have a zombie for a mascot, it's pretty cool. It's
funny you bring that up because I remember as a kid when I first getting into metal and Iron Maiden. I mean. I remember before I even heard an Iron Maiden song, going in the Tower Records, a record store back in the day. What's a record store? But just seeing those cool looking covers with Eddie, and the cool thing about the mascot is it's always a different art design. And I thought before I even heard an Iron Maiden song, the thing about it was I thought, man, this album cover looks so cool. I just have to get this. Just the artwork alone inspired me to go and buy an Iron Maiden album, and then once I heard what the band was about, I thought, oh yeah, this is a band I can really get into. So it's just even a band like Kiss, which I know you're heavily influenced by. I mean, who they've got great songs. Let's not deny that. But who knows if like me and you when we were kids, if Gene Simmons wasn't wearing that makeup and spitting the blood and stuff, if the band would have that makeup on, who knows if we even have ever checked them out,
Exactly. If you're into comic books and horror movies and things like that, it's an automatic spark of interest, And then if the band is actually good and fun to listen to, it's a win-win situation. So that's always been an influence in heavy metal, I think, and hard rock music is artwork, whether it's on the album cover or something that the band is influenced by. It's going to find its way either into the lyrics or onto the artwork or into the logo, and it's always going to be something like that. The same goes with Dangerous Toys. I mean, basically that clown is a rip-off of Eddie. I don't have a problem saying that.
Yeah.
It looks like Eddie with orange hair and a clown nose on. That's fine. The artist that created the clown is one of the biggest Iron Maiden, and Eddie and Derek Riggs art, the artist, the original Iron Maiden artist. He's a huge fan of that. He grew up drawing in comic books, doing comic book sketches and things like that. So I didn't have a problem, basically taking some creature that sort of looks like Eddie and turning it into a Jack-in-the-Box clown who eventually escapes from the Jack-in-the-Box and creates this mayhemic, sort of logo for the band. And I wouldn't call, even though we have a name for the clown, it's Bill Z. Bub, like Beelzebub.
Yeah, I remember it, yeah.
But Bill I never let anyone get away with calling him our mascot. Even though he was and is on all of the album covers, it's not something that I'm trying to hide behind.
Yeah.
It's more of a recognition thing, just like Eddie is, right?
Yeah. Well,
And I'm actually a little bit shocked that not so many people have come out and said to my face, "You guys ripped off Eddie," and got a cease and desist from Iron Maiden. So they've got bigger things to worry about than little old Dangerous Toys, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And it was, it's just a little bit of flattery and not necessarily plagiarism at all.
Yeah.
And they know that we're just having fun with our logo, just like they are with Eddie.
Yeah. I mean, that was very smart on your part, and I think we talked a little bit about that the last time. But the amazing thing about Jason is this: your little band from Texas, Dangerous Toys. That's how people first came to know you, and that mascot. Eventually, I mean, like you said, it was on all your album covers. Eventually, that mascot became as big as the band, if you know what I mean. I mean, you kind of were the face and the voice of Dangerous Toys, even up to this day as we're speaking, 2016. But that artwork, I mean, Dangerous Toys was well known for the music as they were for the album covers. I mean, I always read stuff about how people thought you guys just had such great album covers, and even to this day, people are still talking about the artwork on those albums.
Yeah, it's really good. Tommy Pons is a fantastic artist. I'm sure you can find his stuff online all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, that clown got us into a really good place in the same way that people would see a Kiss album cover or something and get their interest, sparked by just even a glance. And I think that has worked for Dangerous Toys even this far in. I think when people see that logo, it's interesting to them.
I mean, automatically they identify with Dangerous Toys. They know what it is, just like the Kiss logo. Or even you take a band like Megadeth. Look at all their album covers. They got a similar type of mascot. Vic Rattlehead, and they've had that on all their album covers, and it's just creates for great artwork and stuff.
I think that it's cool. Dystopia, the new Megadeth cover, I think is amazing. I stared at it the other day.
Oh yeah.
Exactly what we're talking about. I picked it up in the store and just stared at it. It made me want to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I need to pick up the new Megadeth. By the way, I feel guilty that I don't have it.
And
it was so good.
Yeah. And
Everybody tells me it's amazing.
I tell you, as a guy that's actually got it, it's really the best thing they've done in years. I honestly sit here and tell you, it's like the way I describe it to people, I say it's really a cross between like Countdown to Extinction and Rust in Peace. I mean, it's that good.
Wow.
And
well, he always satisfies. I think that there was some Mustaine sounding things that were not necessarily Megadeth in my book.
Yeah.
But it was more. It was he was taking some chances.
Yeah.
And it turned me away for a little while. But the system has failed.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of that record. I have that record, and that record blew my mind.
And
and I want to say it was supposed to be that record. System has failed. I think it was supposed to be a solo record, and the label, he was by contract. The label, he owed them a Megadeth record, so he had to call it Megadeth.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the interesting thing about that is, so it turned into like a kind of a Dave Mustaine solo album with a bunch of session guys. I know he had Chris Poland, and I think was one of the guitar players, but. It was kind of a different sound, but it was still Megadeth because it had Dave Mustaine. Now, getting back to Ignitor, which is this new project, you said you've been involved with them since 2007. But I got to ask you, Jason, because like we were talking about Dangerous Toys, I know you have another band, Broken Teeth, and these are two projects that you formed. But what was it like for you to join an existing band, a band that already had a very strong history, very much like Dangerous Toys or Broken Teeth had? But you're joining somebody else's project.
Every band I've ever been in has been a band before I joined.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you shared that
Every band I've ever been in has had a singer before me.
Okay, yeah. I think you shared that with me about Dangerous Toys that not a lot of people know. See, that's another interesting thing that I forgot about till just now. That you were telling me last time we talked that there's another singer in Dangerous Toys before you. But the funny thing is, Dangerous Toys kind of became your band, and when people think of Dangerous Toys, they think automatically the name Jason McMaster because you've made it so much your own. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's not. It's not my own.
Not your own, I mean, but
it's
very.
It's very diplomatic. I mean, it's a definite band. I mean, Dangerous Toys still has the same exact members that were in it from the very beginning. Those guys had a female singer. Her name was Terry, and the band was called Onyx.
Okay.
And they lost her for whatever reason. That's so long ago now. And they called me to just fill in, and I eventually just stayed with it. And we got a deal and changed the name to Dangerous Toys. Well, when I joined, they changed the name. We didn't want to go under Onyx because Terry, the female singer, she actually went by Onyx.
Okay.
Herself that. So we've been Dangerous Toys since I started playing with them. But I was a fill-in until we started working together and writing and got a deal, and then I joined permanently. But the band I was in before Dangerous Toys is called Watchtower, and they had a singer before me too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad. I guess
Watchtower for 8 years prior to Dangerous Toys even existed.
And I gotta say, Jason, I think it's totally cool the way you kind of just corrected me on that and said, no, Dangerous Toys is not my band. It's, we had these other guys. These other guys were involved before me, and it's a very diplomatic band, and I think that's cool that you're that way. But I guess the point I was trying to make was, that you're not the original singer, and very much like I guess when Bruce Dickinson joined Iron Maiden, they had a singer before him. But I guess the point I was trying to make, after you joined the band, kind of just it became bigger and bigger, and it's kind of interesting that even all these years later, a lot of people do not know there was a singer in Dangerous Toys before Jason McMaster. But I think that just goes.
There was not a singer in Dangerous Toys before me.
There's a
band that I'm in, now known as Dangerous Toys, was called something else with another singer.
Okay.
We lost that singer, got me, and then we started calling it something new, which that new band name was Dangerous Toys.
Okay, I hear you now.
There was a singer before me, but they were calling the band something else.
I hear you. Okay, now getting back to Ignitor, going back to 2007 when you first hooked up with your friends in the band. Like you said, known some of the guys for several years at that point. But when you joined, when you joined the band, did they kind of tell you like, okay, Ignitor's already got a sound going, Jason? Or did they allow you to come in and just kind of do your thing?
No, I knew what it needed to sound like.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear these sort of epic power metal, sort of, Viking riff, or Dio, or old school sort of just, this sort of strange, Merciful Fate stylings of, kind of jagged progressive riffs with, lots of double kick going on. You know what the song is calling for. It's calling for a classic, semi-operatic, with like a gothic type of Renaissance type of a vocal. I'm not going to say Dungeons and Dragons type of metal, like a Manowar type of thing, but, like a Manowar type of thing.
Yeah.
But mixed with so many different things. I mean, Ignitor is like if Judas Priest and Ronnie James Dio and King Diamond had a baby.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm looking at, we're talking here on the band's Facebook page, and you're telling me that the new album's going to be called Mixtape 85, and you guys kind of got a picture of album cover. Now, that takes me back, I remember when I was growing up, a lot of, probably like you, Jason, a lot of bands in the 80s, they used to have, where they trade tapes and stuff, and that's kind of what the album cover looks exactly like, and I think you had something similar like with Godzilla Motor Company, and all these other bands you were in, so, I want to go down the list because I'm looking here. One of the covers you got is an Anthrax song called Death Ripper, and I was curious, are you going to be checking out the new Anthrax album in a few weeks when it comes out?
Boston last night. I had to work late, so I missed it. They were here with Lamb of God. I totally missed out, and I noticed that they do have a new record coming out. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay.
But that Death Rider is on the very first Anthrax album with one of their mini singers.
Yeah. And then I noticed you mentioned Merciful Fate, which is another band you cover on here, and I was wondering if you had a chance to check out that Merciful Fate guitar player Hank Sherman's latest project with Sean Peck. They have like a 4-song EP out right now.
The guy from Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did watch I think I watched a video of that a while back. I think they made a video for one of the songs. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely the Michael Dinner and Hank Sherman guitar playing on it is I'm a fan of what those guys do too when they play together. It's definitely a style. It's too bad that the original Merciful Fate can't get together to make a record, but that's just kind of water under the bridge, I'm sure. But I'm just stuck with King Diamond. I just love King Diamond and the Merciful Fate records. Don't Break the Oath and Melissa are like a Bible to me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great new metal that the elder statesmen of metal are still doing, and I think that it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I brought that up only because I was looking on your Facebook page. I see you guys have a show or two coming up with Cage, and Cage has always been one of these bands I feel that's really remained under the radar, and I could see you and Sean Peck to me have a lot of similarities kind of in your singing styles, and you're both kind of very underrated guys, but I think it's great. I could see you doing a show with Cage. I think that's a great bill.
Cool. Yeah, we're doing Houston with Cage. We're doing San Antonio with Hellstar and Grim Reaper. And we're doing a show in Chicago in May with Tigers of Pantang and Jag Panzer and a million other bands. So,
I mean, you mentioned earlier about Ronnie James Dio. He's another guy that I'm really heavily influenced by as well. I gotta ask, all your years of touring and stuff in the business, did you ever get a chance to do any shows with Ronnie?
Dangerous Toys did a show with Dio and Motorhead in like 95 or 96 in Houston. But I don't remember getting to meet him there. And I didn't officially meet him, at shows I've been to where I was actually hanging around backstage. Seeing him walk around, and it was never introduced or never got to, corner him or anything, but he's definitely one of my favorites. I wouldn't say that he influenced me as a singer, and I think that he influenced the world.
I hear you. And another person recently passed I want to kind of bring up because I'd seen you post a photo of you and Lemmy. I was curious, did you know him at all? Well, you're in a picture with him, so I assume you at least got to meet him. Is there any story you could share?
The Toys toured with Motorhead in '91 with Judas Priest, Alice Cooper, and Metal Church. So I got to see Motorhead every day for a couple of months. And, we chummed around a little bit, our group of people and his group of people. But the coolest thing is that he offered to help me write some lyrics for a Dangerous Toys song. And the song made it to demo, but it never made the cut for a record.
Oh, okay.
But that was just cool of him to offer, and I had his lyrics that he wrote for me framed in that exact picture hanging on the wall. So it's sad to see him go, but he was one of the elder statesmen, and that type of a thing is going to happen to us all one day.
Yeah. The best thing I can say about it is, the man went the way he wanted to go, on the road, so to speak, and we all should be so lucky that when our time comes, if we have as many people saying as many nice things about us.
That's right. Such an influence on just the whole rock and roll attitude and world, and what it's really about, and what are the reasons that you write and play rock and roll? Well, it better be somewhat similar to what he believed in rock and roll, because I think that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, and then before we wrap this up tonight, Jason, I got to ask, so we got this new single, Video for No Sanctuary. How far along are you guys in the recording of this new album?
We've got about 4 or 5 songs done, I believe, and then there's about 3 or 4 on the burner right now that need some attention, and they've been rehearsing those, and they're still cooking. Right? There's a few that are still cooking, and we've got to write some more lyrics and things like that, but I'd say we're pretty close to half done, or a little bit more than half done, and there's no deadline, we're taking our time. We're all in different projects and stuff, and we're lucky to have 5 or 6 gigs on the calendar right now, so that's how I feel about all of it. That's how I feel about the toys and Ignitor, and I'm writing 3 different records for 3 different bands simultaneously.
Wow.
I'm writing a new Broken Teeth record right now, a new Evil United record right now, and a new Ignitor record right now. So, I think that these gigs out of nowhere that Ignitor all of a sudden has, like, 5 gigs or something, is the reason that we sort of like vomited this video out. Something that we've been working. It's been a little on the back burner. Had a full-on reason to release it. Promoters can use it to talk about the shows coming up. So, it makes sense.
The cool thing about it for me is, I'll tell you, like, obviously I know of you from Dangerous Toys and even, Evil United and Broken Teeth. Until your publicist, got in touch with me and made me aware of his band Ignitor, I'd never heard of the band. But the cool thing is, and even after talking to you tonight, Jason, right now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, when I get off the phone with this guy, I'm going to go online. I'm going to go check out some of the band's past music, check out what this band's really all about, kind of really get to know the story a little more. And that's the cool thing about having you in this band is I think people just find out about the band like myself are going to go online and find out as much as they can. And you're a big part of that because you do bring the fan base you have to this project. Now, I imagine, like you're saying, right now you're writing 3 different albums. So when you write a song, Jason, do you necessarily know what project it's going to be used for, or do you write specifically, like in this case, just for Ignitor when you're working on that?
I think that when I'm writing lyrical ideas anyway, I think that I know where they're going to fit and where they're not really going to fit. Of course, it sometimes bleeds over into, something I'm working on, let's say for Broken Teeth, might be relative in a couple of ways to something I, will have written for, this is definitely Ignitor, this is definitely Evil United, something like that. But, that's kind of, I'm just a lyricist trying to write lyrics that are going to be fun for me to sing, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter who it's for until it kind of comes down to what the song is actually trying to do. Yeah. And I hope that makes sense to you. I'm trying to not be vague. I'm trying to be specific.
I hear you.
Especially if I have a title. If I have a title and a concept, it will definitely find its place just by hearing the title or the concept. Okay. If it's about, if it's a little doom and gloom side and has some darkness to it, it's probably going to be Evil United. If it has something that's has a little bit more of like a Viking, like a pride thing or celebratory or something, it could be, or even like, something about evil, like a king who's dying from a disease and his kingdom is doomed, and the only way he's able to get back is, talk to a witch doctor or some sort of wizard or seer or something. That kind of a thing lends itself to Ignitor more than it does anything else. You understand?
Oh, yeah. And then the very last thing I want to ask before I let you go is, like you said, you're right now currently writing for 3 different albums. Do you think these albums will all be released around the same time? You try to pace it out, release one and then maybe a couple months later?
You never know. It's not a race.
No. Yeah.
Seemingly, they usually follow each other.
Yeah.
Like Broken Teeth, we just put out a record in October.
That's what I was going to say, and you're already working on the next one. That's right. Like even going back to when I was growing up, like, I was such a huge Kiss fan like you, Jason, and I remember I used to put, like, back in the day, 2 albums out a year. It was just a great thing,
Well, that was the normal. I mean, Elton John and Queen and David Bowie, they did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, once again, Jason's been very enjoyable talking to you. I really appreciate you taking time to talk to me, and we'll have to do it down the line. And very last thing before I do let you go, I understand that you also, correct me if I'm wrong, I know at one point you had a Judas Priest tribute and a Kiss tribute. Am I correct?
Yeah, the Judas Priest tribute plays about once or twice a year now.
Okay.
my Metallica tribute plays a handful of times a year. My AC/DC tribute plays a couple of times a year.
Okay.
But the Kiss tribute, I haven't done anything since probably the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2000, 2004 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't really recall, but
Yeah.
we were locally. We were an award-winning tribute, and it was a lot of fun. And it kind of died as soon as I stopped drinking.
Wow.
So that was kind of that's an interesting way to look at it too, but it was kind of coincided with me sort of like leaving the bar forever.
Okay, and then the only reason I was asking about the tribute project is, I've been to several tribute shows myself. I really enjoyed it, so much to the fact that I also do another interview series where I interview people that play in tribute bands. So I was just thinking down the line, if you ever want to talk about any of the tribute projects, we could set up a date and time to do that. But thanks so much, Jason. You're just always involved in so many different musical projects. I enjoy talking to you. So anytime you want to do this, feel free to reach out to me. We can do it again. Maybe when the Ignitor album comes out, we can do it again and talk more in detail.
I just love talking about rock and roll. I don't worry about it because it's my shit, not anybody else's shit. But I worry that fans will be confused sometimes. But if they're paying attention, they're not going to be confused.
Well, I tell you,
I feel like sometimes when I put out a new record, and someone is, wait, didn't I write about a record that this guy is on last month by a band called Broken Teeth, and now I'm writing about a record by this band Evil United? It's like, how many bands does, what's this guy trying to prove? People actually write this in a review, and it makes me just close it. It just makes me stop reading it. And, it's whether they like the record or not, they say things like that. And it's like, okay, well, if I were to just focus on being in one band and that's the only band I was going to be in, I would be bored as shit. Because that one band is not busy enough.
Yeah, and I can kind of get that. I mean, talking as a guy that's been a Jason McMaster, fans going all the way back to Dangerous Toys, like I said. One thing I enjoy personally about all these different albums, okay, like I said, Ignitor sounds nothing like Dangerous Toys. So if I was to pick up a Broken Teeth album and Ignitor, I'm getting two totally different sounding records. And I think, if I'm a fan of this guy, I just love the fact personally that he's got so much, he's putting so much, stuff out there. I think a lot of times people limit themselves. I mean, for example, you going back to 1994 when Motley Crue got rid of Vince Neil. They had that guy John Corabi. A lot of people did not give it a fair chance. If you listen to that today, I mean, it maybe doesn't sound like a Motley Crue album. I'll give you that, but people really didn't give it a fair shake. And I went at least gave it a listen. I said, okay, this isn't Motley Crue, but this guy's got a very talented voice. He's a very talented singer, and he's still doing it all these years later, doing his own thing. But that's the point. Is people sometimes they just go in with something having a preconceived idea, and I think that's the problem a lot of times.
Sure, and they want you to be in a box. They put you in a box, and they want you to stay there. Well, if you're this madman and this, got this crazy head that's, can multitask and write all these, sing this and sing that and write this and write that, and I mean, does an artist who like a painter, does he paint the same picture over and over?
I mean, it amazes me just to the point, like I said, to me, I list all these different records you've done over the years, and it just it speaks volumes to me about your talent as a singer and a songwriter, because it would be very easy to just, do all these projects and have them all sound like Dangerous Toys, because that's what you had success with, but, that would be, from an artist standpoint, I think that'd be very boring for you, but, if I'm going to put out the same sounding album, why not just stick with Dangerous Toys, and that would be very boring, I think, for you.
Well, not necessarily boring, just, I just have a lot more styles of music that the Toys don't do. I mean, I'm not going to, call it Dangerous Toys, but write a metal record with Dangerous Toys, it's not the same thing. And, I just wonder when, someone has a webzine and they're not in it because they're a true fan. They're in it because, you know, hey, I got a webzine, send me free CDs, and they get a CD, they burn it, and then they sell it in the half-price store the week after they get it, and they give it a schlocky review that's badly written, and they say that the record is good, yet the singer is in all these other bands, and he's confused, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, what are you writing about? Are you writing about the singer who's confused, or are you writing about this record? You said the record was good. Why don't you talk about the good record?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just interesting. I just thought I would bring that up. I'm not
No. Well,
pedestal or anything.
No.
Just saying it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, and you know, so much to the point. I'll give you a perfect example of what you're talking about. People ask me, like, if they go on the website where this interview is going to appear. Once again, www.chaoticriffs.com. Yes, instant plug. But the point is, people ask me, how come all the CD reviews have up there? You say how great all the CDs are. I never see a bad review, and I tell them, okay, the reason I got into this, kind of like what you're saying, Jason. I didn't get into this to to review a band, to put a review up for a band that I don't like. It's like I'd rather spread the word about the bands I love. And even as you can tell me sitting here talking to you, you can tell that I know what I'm talking about. You can tell that I'm a Jason McMaster fan, and I'm just having time of my life sitting here talking to you, and I'd rather be doing that and spreading the word about a band that I love, and say, oh yeah, you know this guy Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys. Well, he's got this great new band, Ignitor. And they're not that new a band. He's been with the band since 2007. But sometimes that information doesn't get out there. It's just, it's a new band.
Right. Well, and if they take it at that face value, or that nickel token there, you know what I mean, where they're just saying, another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're writing a review about, he's got another one already.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean already?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah. It's just you don't know your stuff, but you check up on your facts. Like, that's another great thing about talking to you, because I was reading up on the band, and okay, so he's been with the band since 2007. That's okay. I didn't know that. I thought this was just a new band come together for 2016. But see, in doing the research, you kind of educate yourself. That's what it's all about.
Sure, that's right, man. That's right. Well, and it's all about having fun too, and music is fun, and it doesn't pay like it used to. If you had a career up to a certain point, you know what I mean, and it was fairly successful, and you're able to sustain and make a new record every once in a while, that's great. But that's not happening with any of my bands. I mean, if I could get one band to sustain and make a career out of that, there's all these other facets in my life that would not be producing anything else. Yeah. And I feel like that would be very boring.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty great.
I don't know if you, I don't know if you won't mind me putting this out there, but I'll just give people, another example of what we're talking about here. People, like you're saying, may think, you've got all this money because you're this guy from Dangerous Toys or whatever. But your publicist sharing with me, Jason's got a day job, and I'm just putting out there because I think a lot of times people don't realize that, and I admire that. Okay, this guy's doing his musical thing, but he's also he's got a day job to help pay the bills and help support his musical career. I mean, a lot of times people don't realize.
Every musician I know, whether you think they're a rock star status or not, they have a day job.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be any surprise to my publicist or anybody else.
No, he was just telling me, well, Jason can't do it till a little later. But I'm just saying, people do not realize that this guy's got his rock star thing going, and he's got a day job, and they think, like you say, he had his Dangerous Toys thing, and they were successful for however long. He's rolling in the dough. But that also gives me more admiration for a guy like you, for the simple fact that you're not in this because necessarily you're making the billions of dollars. You're in it because you love what you do.
Yeah, I love to sing.
Yeah.
Stop there. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. And I've taken up enough of your time, Jason. Sometimes I tend to ramble on, but one thing, like you said, I really love talking to a guy like you. We both have a love of music. We both have, like I said, I'm a huge Kiss fan. I know you're a huge Kiss fan. So I could talk to you for hours, but I'm going to wrap this up and let you go. At that point, welcome, tell all your friends, and we'll do it again because it's really been a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason.
Okay, take care, my friend. Bye-bye.